Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and put a smile on all your beautiful faces, and sometimes we're even designed to make you fall off an elliptical from laughing so hard. That's right.
Yes. That is probably, I would say, one of our top 3 listener comments.
Oh, yeah.
Just from a standpoint of making me feel good that we actually did something.
We had a listener write us and tell us that she almost fell off her elliptical. And who's that listener? It's Christine, the best listener. Our favorite listener.
Our new favorite. Screw everybody else.
Yeah, screw everybody else.
We got Christine on the hook.
She gets all the gold stars. But yeah, seriously, Christine, I literally made my week hearing that you almost fell off your elliptical while listening to us in laughter.
While we don't condone physical violence.
Or physical activity in general.
Well, I don't know. What? I'm physically active.
I'm joking. Look at this sexy body. You think I just sit around and just look this great? Hell no. I gotta work hard.
I lost 10 pounds and all I've been doing is walking my dog.
It's because you shaved your back hair off.
Yes. I shaved all the hairs, actually.
But anyway, yes, that made our day. Thank you for sharing that story. And if any of you, any of the other wonderful listeners have any great stories where you almost fell down laughing, we would love to hear those stories because they really do make our day.
Stories about us and how we made a positive influence on your life, we would like to know it.
Yeah, definitely. But so where are we at? We are dedicated to helping people fall off the ellipticals and bringing you all the nerd news you need to know. Like I said, while I put a little smile on your face, I'm Brian West, the hostess with the positively mostest.
And I'm Ryan Thomason, the other guy.
The other guy. You know, we ever get famous, I'm getting a shirt that you have that's going to say the other guy right on the back.
Yeah, I'll just make sure I just have a shirt that says other guy. And then it'll be good.
That's fine with me. Anyway, what episode are we on? Episode 156, I think, right?
156, Brian.
There you go. That is for your for everyone's logging purposes, so that way you can make sure you get the entire series watched in order.
44 episodes until we finally quit.
Yes! Thank God. I'm so sick of the other guy. He's the worst.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Huh?
I thought
anyway,
we were both quitting, Brian. It wasn't I was just quitting.
We're going to talk about that.
I created this.
Listen, do not ruin my grand scheme to have you quit so that way I can move on to greater things.
And then I'll just be like standing in the rain.
I mean, my plan really didn't...
With my boombox.
My plan didn't really... I mean, there was going to be a place for you. Brian, let me back in.
My iPhone above my head.
No. Well, I mean, the whole plan was that you would never figure it out, so I was actually going to have your cable ripped away from your house and your phone taken, so that way you'd never get on the internet again.
I don't think you have that kind of power.
Or do I, Ryan?
I don't want to find out, personally.
No, I'm joking. But we aren't joking about 44 episodes till we quit. We need more subscribers, and if we don't get them, we're getting the fuck out of here.
We'll just start something else.
Yeah, that's all we'll do. We'll take all you guys along the ride with us, so along for the ride. It'll happen. I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. We got nerdy stuff to talk about. We got TV stuff that we're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Our TV special, because there's almost like no news we're talking about.
Very minimal amount of news.
I mean, there was good news in the world. Side note, if you guys haven't already noticed, we're a day early. Ryan has to watch his stupid football team tomorrow night. I mean, God, does anybody even like the Steelers? Does anybody in America like the Steelers? There's 3 homeless people I know. And
you couldn't tell, but I just made my whole neck crack when I went like this.
Oh, I thought you were trying to think about who actually likes the Steelers.
No, that was me cracking my neck in frustration.
Whatever. But my favorite part is that
when
Ryan...
the Seahawks had to play on Thursday night, it was a big, huge deal that we were recording.
No, well, to be fair, I knew in advance and made plans with you early on so we could tell the viewers that we were going to be here a day early. You were like, oh yeah, oh shit, my team plays like tomorrow night. Can we do the show some other time?
I think I at least gave you one extra day.
You are the worst at preparations. and
I
preparedness.
have not. My job is all
You were
preparation.
not a Boy Scout, and if you were a terrible Boy Scout. You were the one that had the giant like sash with like the "I pooped" badge, right? That's like you got the one for taking a dump in the wilderness, and that's the only
You
badge
get
you
a
got.
badge
And it's
for that?
because you got scared and pooped your pants, but they felt really bad, so they still gave you the badge.
All I know is that if you poop in the woods, you should bury it, or else wild animals will come and kill you.
And I don't think that's exactly how it works, but that is why you have the poop badge. Way to go, Ryan. Your one shining moment.
I
Congratulations.
didn't do Boy Scout. I did, what was the, it was like not brownies. Was it brownies?
Oh, I'm sure it was the brownies, Ryan.
No, there was some
I
other,
think the
like,
brownies is the girl version, right?
yeah, brownies is good. There was one campfire. It was called Campfire.
Whatever.
It was like a
I think that's the Chimo
Boy
version.
Scouts, but
Is that
it was-
is that the version when you have to go with people in vans and they give you candy?
it was a version where I don't remember anything.
I'm pretty
about it.
sure that's the happy place that you and your therapist constructed.
Yeah, because I don't remember anything about it. I just know that I was in it for a year, and I don't remember anything about it. But I remember it was called Campfire.
Yeah. And you pooped your pants. I remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Nerdy stuff.
Oh yeah, we were talking about how did we
We
go
said it
from
was
Wednesday
good.
to you pooping your pants? Anyway, yes, we were a day early. Little side notes. We'll get out of the way now in case we forget later. We're not going to be on next week because Ryan also has some stupid event in Pittsburgh. What is it about Pittsburgh?
Well, it's not my fault that there's my place of employment is sending everybody to Pittsburgh for a
They
training.
must really
So,
hate you to send you to that shithole town. I swear to.
They
they got-
do. And then they pay for my hotel. And they
I mean,
give
their
me like
baseball team is
give
called
me-
the Butt Pirates.
they
Their
give me
football team.
$75 for food each day.
The football team is called the Poop Steelers. I mean,
Yeah.
do they have a hockey team?
Pittsburgh, they have the Penguins.
No, they don't. That's fake news.
They're only been like they've only won the championship like
I mean,
Two
what kind of a stupid mascot is a penguin? Have you ever seen a penguin play hockey? I don't think so.
have you ever seen a lot of these mascots play
I have.
hockey?
I've seen them all. Every year there's a mascot bowl.
Have you seen a Seahawk play football?
I have. It's a majestic bird with many aviary skills.
Ever what, Brian?
Bird skills.
Yeah. Very nice. So yes,
I would say the word again, but I don't think your small mind can comprehend how many syllables and consonants is in it.
I just wanted to hear you say it again. So
Well, you're not going to.
well, I just
Aviary.
I guess some things just aren't meant to be
I said
in
it.
life.
I did say it again.
Aviary.
Whatever. Anyway, Pittsburgh.
Well-
Ryan's going to be in Pittsburgh, so we can't do a show next week. And then the following week, me and Ryan on Thursday night will be shoving our fat faces full of turkey. So
Yes.
that 10 pounds you lost from all the back hair is going to be put right back on your butt.
Yeah. And then turkey make back hair grow faster, so then it's just gonna be
So
extra
you're going to
shit.
double weight it. So you're going to be like 25 pounds.
Oh.
That'd be awesome. Oh my god. Anyway,
The things that we do to our bodies for the holidays.
hey, listen, I love my country, but only in America would we have a holiday where we literally eat so much food that we can barely. The only thing we can do is crawl our giant asses onto a couch and pass out.
Or it's like there's competitions to see who can eat the most food. Like people weigh themselves before.
Oh, who can eat the most? Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they weigh themselves after.
Okay, so what's your favorite dessert on Thanksgiving? Here's a random pop Thanksgiving question.
I'm gonna have to say, well, I like cherry pies. Those are my favorite.
That's actually pretty good. I would go with cherry pie. I mean, I think there's only a few acceptable answers. I do not like pecan pie, so bleh. I do not. Pumpkin pie, the only time I believe is acceptable to eat pumpkin pie is on Thanksgiving, and you have to cover the entire thing with whipped cream. You cannot see any pie.
That's the only way it's edible. I don't like pumpkin pie.
It has to look like a snowball.
it's got to be like the pumpkin pie is like this thin, but then you have like this much of whipped cream on the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna eat
Like
basically, I mean, you're
whipped
basically. Let's be
cream be
real.
like double the pie ratio.
Sometimes even triple. It's really you're eating squash pie is what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
but I don't mind pumpkin pie. My personal favorite pie at any meal is apple pie, but cherry pie is a good Thanksgiving pie, and so is a good chocolate cream pie. That's actually a pretty good Thanksgiving pie too. It has nothing to do with Thanksgiving, but it's just a good pie to have at any time of the year.
Yeah. I didn't know you didn't like pecan pie. Pecan pie is good. Kind of like candy-ish.
If I wanted pecan pie, I'd just eat trail mix.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I'm not making, why do they call it trail mix pie? Actually, that might be pretty tasty. How about graham cracker crust with trail mix melted with whipped cream and ice cream on top?
All right, so how about your side dishes then? What's the best? We get one side dish.
Mashed potatoes and like a bucket of gravy.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I mean, but come on. Here's the problem with Thanksgiving. Literally the only thing about it that's really seasonal is the turkey. Because I will eat mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, candied yams, corn, all year round.
Cranberry sauce.
Fuck that shit. That is not edible food. It's disgusting,
Right.
and you should immediately kill yourself for liking that stuff.
No, cranberries are good.
I draw the line with cranberry. Listen, when you take it out of the can, it still has the indentions of the can. It's ass tasting Jello is all it is.
You buy the actual bag of cranberries, and then you make a syrup.
It is shit tasting Jello. It's like if
you just put cranberries in some vodka and just called it.
It's like if Jello had the texture of cream cheese and tasted like cranberries. Okay, it's disgusting. How dare you?
Well, at least you could put it in your vodka and drink.
You know what? I'm going to make you a special cranberry sauce cocktail when you come here.
No,
I'm going to take the
saying-
whole can, drop it in a bucket, and pour vodka around it. Put a straw in there.
I said cranberry. Buy the bag that says cranberries, not the can.
Nope. Not
God
talking
damn
to
it,
you.
friend.
Whatever. Anyway, what else do we want to talk
So,
about?
yeah,
Moving on.
Thanksgiving.
Do we want to talk news?
Yes.
Because, yeah, let's talk news. What do we got?
Oh, we got America.
All right, hang on. No. We got to transition. All right, is that all are we done? Should we get into the news? Or do you want to talk about that, do you want to talk politics? That's why we're so happy today.
Well, how you and I single-handedly saved America because we told people to vote.
We are not going to talk politics on this show, but me and Ryan want to give a very big shout out to everyone who took our advice to go out and vote. Because of you guys, we officially have hope again. There are some checks and balances to our hair on fire president, and
especially after that press conference today.
Okay, you mean the meltdown?
He fired Jeff Sessions.
I am 100% positive that someone, because last night he was kind of being civil from times. I am 100% positive that somebody this morning actually explained to him what the House does. And he lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean they can subpoena my tax returns?
Ugh.
Can I just tell him no? No, Mr. President. What the fuck?
Going full
Somebody
Nixon.
call Paul Ryan. Somebody get that gavel and shove it up his ass.
Yeah, he's going full, like, not just Nixon, but like Nixon from Futurama.
You know what the best part is we're no
like,
longer going to. It's no longer going to be called going full Nixon. It's going to be called going full Trump from now on.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I don't want to dive into all of it. I did have a good night. Hopefully, you had as much fun. You, Ryan, and everybody out there had as much fun as me and my wife did last night. We had some cocktails, sat on the couch, and just started smiling because for the first time in forever.
Rum and Coke. I ate my dinner. I ate my kids' leftovers from lunch.
Yeah.
And then I just destroyed a box of Cheez-Its because I was stressed.
I knew you were having a good night because it was 9:30 my time. You're still up, and you text me, I'm drunk. I need Cheez-Its. Yes. But, no, it was a good night. We had a good time. It was nice to get some sanity, hopefully, back in the planet. Special shout out to all the ladies. We had over 100 women elected to Congress, which is amazing.
First Native American, Muslim.
Native American. We got our first openly gay governor in Colorado, so kudos to you, Colorado, for looking at the candidate and not his sexual orientation.
That Colorado baker that brought it all the way to the Supreme Court about not having to make a cake for a gay couple.
The gay cakes.
He's got a gay governor now, so eat it.
The lady who wouldn't issue licenses, the marriage license to gay people, was beaten by one of the people she would not issue a marriage license to. So
no, it was actually that guy did try to compete against her, but he lost in the primary.
Oh, but are you sure?
But yes.
Oh well, whatever.
She's out. I read the article.
Oh, damn clickbait. Anyway, she's out. There was a lot of cool things that happened.
Yes, it's Kim Davis, and she's gone.
But regardless of where you stand in the political aisle, there was some really cool things, I think, for America. I think representation is always good, and we got a lot of it. So that is very good, and we're very excited. And like I said, more than anything, we can hopefully survive the next 2 years. Hopefully the fun Trump bus of American politics, even though it is currently on fire, it is not going off a cliff strapped with C4 with a madman ready to push the button.
Yeah, now it's just like there's a side clown car that's going to try and do their best.
Anyway, that's all the politics we're going to talk. But we could not contain it. We were very excited, and we talked a lot about voting the last couple episodes. And I'm sure if you did vote or like that, you probably know already what we know, and that is that we took back the House, and we got a lot of governorships, and things are finally looking a little bit up. So it's a little hard for us to not contain our exuberance, because for the first time in a couple of years, it feels like the world is not coming to a complete and horrible end.
Yeah, I don't have to keep playing that GIF with the dog sitting in the house that's on fire saying it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah, maybe some rough times for you. I do feel some government shutdowns coming in your future.
Yeah, we're on top of that.
You might want to save some cash. I do not see Trump and the Democrats playing very nicely with the House and the White House, so we'll see.
Yeah. A side note, I might start my own show.
I mean,
December 7th through question mark.
Well, considering, and this is the last bit of politics, I swear, but considering Donald Trump responded to the Democrats saying, if you guys go after me for anything, I'm going to go after you. I'm going to use the Senate to go after you.
Yeah. And the Senate does not have the same kind of authority.
But don't tell him that, because it's really funny watching him say things that can never happen.
Yes.
God. All right, anyway. Transitioning to the news, everybody. More news, but this is in the nerd sphere, so we do not have a lot of it, so we'll spend a few minutes, and then we'll get into our TV talk, which I know Ryan's excited about. I don't think he's watched anything that we're going to talk about. But I know other people are excited, like our best viewer, Christine. She's been dying for us to talk about The Walking Dead, so we're going to do a lot of that in the TV segment. So, but a little bit of quick Walking Dead news. Carol, Megan McBride, I think is it Megan McBride? Something McBride.
Megan's.
I know it's not Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Melissa McBride.
Yeah.
She, who plays Carol, and Norman Reedus, who plays
Daryl,
bow and arrow guy. I watched the show. I kid.
Badass guy.
Got massive pay raises, like huge mega deals for the show going forward. So apparently they are going to be the two big stars on this show going forward, and they are locked and loaded into monster contracts.
So I haven't watched since the Carl thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those two characters, you could tell they were priming them in the middle of last season to be like the big two.
Yes.
I don't. Maybe I'll ask you just to ruin everything for me, so I can just decide if I want to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched it since then. I stopped caring. I really just stopped caring.
Yeah, so apparently their new deals is Norman Reedus is making $350,000 per episode, and his deal is worth anywhere between $50 and $90 million. And McBride, she is getting $20 million over the same time period, so she's probably getting about half of the money for the episodes. But still, $20 million is a lot for a TV show, and Norman Reedus is getting freaking paid.
Dude, $300,000 for one episode.
I will say this: I am kind of shocked, though. I mean, I like Carol a lot, but I like Daryl a lot, but Carol's pretty important to the show too. I'm actually kind of surprised she's getting like a quarter of his money. That seems kind of not fair.
I think it should be a little more equal, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him getting a small bump, but that seems like a pretty. Now that I look at the details, it seems like a pretty sizable. You're not as important money.
Yeah, I guess that's just how it is these days. So,
well, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Maybe she's in less episodes.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, hashtag equal pay. That's some bullshit right there. But whatever. We're going to talk more about Walking Dead, and like I said, in a little bit. So Ryan's going to save his questions for that. But we do have a lot more Walking Dead news. So if you're going, what about the other news? We're going to talk about that soon. Since we're talking about TV shows going to movies, that's a teaser for some Walking Dead news, Ryan, that you don't know about yet. Apparently Breaking Bad is coming back with a TV movie.
So it's going to be him. It's going to be a prequel.
Okay, so it's going to be a prequel. Teacher? It's going to star Aaron. I cannot remember anybody's names tonight. Aaron, who's Jesse? Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Aaron Paul.
It's going to star Aaron Paul, Heisenberg. I can't remember his name. Bryan Cranston. Jesus, I really cannot do names tonight. Bryan Cranston said he would love to come back, but he has not been reported to being on board with this yet. So a lot of people think this could be kind of Jesse Pinkman's story, maybe, with characters from Better Call Saul.
A drug addict?
But isn't Better Call Saul the prequel to Breaking Bad already?
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather see, like, Jesse, like, after he broke out.
I did not see all the details on this, but I'm going to 100% bet that this is only going to be available on AMC streaming app. Mark my words.
Would you rather have a prequel or a sequel?
Well, I mean, okay, this is a little bit of a spoiler for Breaking Bad, so if anybody's never seen Breaking Bad,
Yeah, in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's been out, but I mean, Bryan Cranston dies at the end of it. So what else do you want to see? Literally everybody except for Aaron Paul and his wife and son die at the end of that show. Everybody dies.
Yeah. And his wife and son are completely set and daughter because he forced those people to take care of them.
Yeah, he forced those people who basically stole his company to launder his millions that he made selling crystal meth. So, here's my thing.
I want to see a Jesse, just because the way his story had me all, like, emotional, how he finally, like, broke out. And
yeah, you could see more with his story going forward. I guess I'm with you on that. Here's my thing, is, like, I saw enough of that universe. I enjoyed it. I don't want to go back. I haven't watched Better Call Saul. I tried to watch I watched the first episode, but it's like, I just don't care enough about that universe. I mean, I enjoyed the series for what it was, but I have no desire to go back. It's dark, it's gritty, it's not fun, and it's kind of soul-sucking. So I enjoyed it. I will recommend anybody who wants to watch it because it's fantastic, like, acting and writing and stuff. It's just
it was good how it was.
Yeah, and so I
didn't need anything more.
Same here. So I honestly could care less if they make what the prequel or sequel's about. I just probably won't even watch it. So yeah, there's that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Like I said, not a lot of news this week. Something I will watch though is Halo series. Showtime this week is confirmed. A lot of people were kind of wondering since Showtime has announced that they are still moving forward. In fact, they are moving forward now with their live-action Halo show. I believe it's scheduled to come out late next year. A lot of people were wondering, like, okay, is this going to be another thing where you don't show us the Master Chief? that you give us a bunch of side characters that nobody gives a crap about. And Showtime said, no. That is not going to be this series. Master Chief will be the main star of this. This is a Master Chief show. They could not do the series without him, and that's the plan. And it's been the plan from day one. So I'm very excited now. Sounds like they're going to probably do the Fall of Reach. So that way they can keep the budget down until the show gets bigger and better and people like it.
Then Fall of Reach the first book?
Yeah, it's the Fall of Reach to the first book. It basically tells, I'm going to dive into my Halo nerdness here. Basically tells the story of how Master Chief and the other Spartan 2s were kidnapped as kids.
To the program.
Experimented on, turned into super soldiers. And by the end of that book, they get their armor, and it kind of kicks off the Covenant War, which is what the video games are about. So my guess is this way you could tell. You could give us 1 or 2 or even 3 seasons of that story without having to put too much into the costumes, the CGI. You could really give us a kind of gritty story about friends trying to survive a program that is just awful, but an awful program that's done to save humanity, kind of, right?
When they're kids, and they were just kicking ass.
Yes,
I didn't read a lot of the Halo books, but I did read that one, and that's a really good book. Even if you just like science fiction, I mean, it's a super good book.
That's the funny thing about Halo is, like, believe it or not, the actual video game story of the Covenant coming to Earth, that is the least interesting part of the Halo universe, the Halo lore. It is such a good universe, and I am really excited. I really hope that this show does well, can lead to multiple seasons, and then maybe it'll lead to that, finally get that movie that we've all been dying to see. You know, imagine all the Space Marines from Aliens 2, but in super armor. That is kind of what Halo is.
Yeah. I look forward to this show just because I love Fall of Reach. That was a great book.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Halo universe is more than just the games. And if you have not been checking them out, you should.
Yeah, definitely. All right, another cool sci-fi series that maybe in the future here, coming soon. Brie Larson, who's about to star in Captain Marvel, coming soon, I believe March. She dressed as Samus. So the main heroine of the Metroid series, if you did not know, is a female, which you actually find out at the end of the game when you see her in her armor. And if you beat it on super hard, she's wearing like a skimpy outfit. You can tell that game was made in the 90s.
I've never beat Metroid, but I have seen it.
I still remember being a kid and we finally beat Metroid, and then they show you her. She jumps out of the armor in like this. She has like a blue suit that she wears inside the armor, and so she jumps out, and then she shakes her hair, and this whole lock of blonde hair falls down, and you're like, "It's a girl! I was playing this whole time as a girl." And it's awesome, but it was like in a good way. You're like, "Yes, that's so awesome! What a great reveal!" And so Brie Larson dressed as Samus in the blue suit for Halloween, and people lost their minds, and she was like, "I want to be Samus in a movie, right?" And I think she would be amazing.
I think if Captain Marvel can do like the big time numbers, she could. Well, let's see. You have to get the rights from Nintendo?
Well, Nintendo would have to. I believe Nintendo's actually working on. They have their own kind of production studio now, and I think they're working with people. In fact, we'll talk about that next in a second. But I believe Nintendo really is starting to look into getting into the Hollywood game. I'm hearing rumors that Zelda is a property that could be optioned here real soon for either a TV show or a movie. We're going to talk about Super Mario Bros., like I said, in a second. But I think Metroid is perfect for a movie. I think Nintendo may have the best properties, period, to do movies because the stories are detailed but simple, right? Mm-hmm. They're very epic, but they don't have, like when you start getting into Resident Evil, there's so much lore there and so many different things. It's like, where do you start? What do you do, right? Some of these other Doom, some of these other franchises just haven't worked. I think it's because they're trying to do shooters, first-person shooters. You give us these third-person games where you already are invested. It's like you're playing your own mini-movie, and I think they work perfectly. I think games like Metroid would work. I think or games like Mega Man would work on the big screen. I think we're getting a Sonic animated movie. And like I said about Super Mario Bros., it just got announced today in 2022, we're getting a Super Mario Brothers animated film from DreamWorks.
As long as it's not Tetris. I mean, I think that's the only one that would be
let's be honest. Super Mario Bros. Was always destined to be an animated movie. That is a perfect fit for animation.
we're still waiting for retribution from the Super Mario Brothers movie. So
Oh, that movie.
anything
So bad.
can beat that.
Literally, yeah, whatever. Anyway, moving on. If you haven't seen that, one of these days, me and you should do a crap or craptastic for that,
Oh my
just to
God.
force us to watch it again. Dude, Dennis Hopper as King Koopa was still just glorious. But yeah, I mean, we're getting a Pikachu movie here real soon.
Oh yeah,
Detective
Detective
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this is Nintendo's plan, and like I said, I would love to see a Zelda movie and definitely a Metroid movie. I think it would be great, and she would be excellent as Metroid.
Yeah, I would love a Zelda movie.
Samus.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Speaking of movies that aren't good, but are so bad they're a classic, kind of like Super Mario Brothers, the movie. In 1994, Roger Corman made a movie of the Fantastic Four for Marvel. It was part of the deal because back then, well, still is now, when studios got the rights for movies, they have to make one every so often or else they lose those rights. So they were going to lose Fantastic Four, so they hired a B director to make a super fast Fantastic Four movie on a shoestring budget that never saw the light of day. There have been copies that have been leaked in the past, but they're really hard to find. I have not seen this movie yet, but apparently it is now available on YouTube.
And I'm going to watch it just to torture myself.
Yeah, in fact, me and good friend of the show, Exefer Reed, last year, I think it was last year. I don't think it was 2 years ago, but last year we did a commentary track for the Star Wars Christmas special, which is one of the worst things ever put to film. So we are seriously contemplating doing another commentary track of this Fantastic Four movie. Maybe even Ryan will hop on. We'll see. But it is in the works. If that's something you'd like us to do, let us know.
Yeah, we'd definitely like to take a stab at it.
Because nothing entices Chris to do more things than people telling him that they love him and want him to do something.
Yes. Chris is very easily persuaded.
He's very easily bought.
Yeah, we could just say, Chris, all you have to do is give Brian a blowjob, and we'll let you do it.
Wow.
And he's like, all right.
All right, moving on. Holy smokes, that went a weird place. What in the... I'd hate to see what you dream about, you sick son of a bitch. Anyway, here we go. I don't know how to lead that into things that are also disgusting.
Did I just ruin? I'm sorry.
Shrek is getting rebooted. Not a sequel. Rebooted.
Horrible things.
Speaking of terrible ideas.
I watched the first. I think I saw the second one.
I like Shrek, but does it need to be rebooted? Isn't it? Can it just be? I mean, the guy who made Despicable Me, which is a really fun franchise, and I do love it. They're gonna be spearheading this, but
make something new.
Do we need a Shrek reboot?
No, we don't.
I mean, he's already an all-star. Do we need him to be more? I give up.
Doesn't he have like kids and family now?
Ugh, I don't know. Whatever. Speaking of more bad news, Ryan. Daredevil had a surprisingly huge drop in viewership for third season, which has led a lot of people, including us, to speculate and worry that Netflix is going to fucking axe it.
I think Netflix is just making shit up because all these Disney properties, they just don't even want them anymore.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I do think that Netflix could eventually axe Daredevil and all its shows, not because they're not good, but because, well, especially in Daredevil, we are going to be talking. Me and Ryan are actually, when we're done here, going to do a complete season 1 review show as soon as we're done recording this one. And I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler. It's fucking fantastic. I mean, our show is fantastic, but I mean, Daredevil season 3 was fantastic as well.
The last 3 episodes,
all of them, 13 episodes of greatness.
Yeah, every episode was great, but the last 2 episodes specifically were just...
Yeah, and let's be honest here. If they cancel all these shows, it is only because they no longer want to promote a big-time rival, because Disney's Play is coming out in a couple weeks. But at the same time, they'd be giving them massive ammo, because these would go back to Marvel. And Marvel, I'm telling you, I would love to see what Marvel... This is where I'm torn, because I love this show, and I want season 4 in the worst way.
Yeah, we don't want a new person playing Daredevil and starting all over.
So if you can tell me that the Marvel, Kevin Feige is going to take this and treat it like one of its movie properties and weave it into its own show on Disney Play, then I say do it 100%. But I love these actors. Of all the shows, this is by far my favorite. It's one of my favorite comic book shows, and if Netflix cancels it, I'm seriously gonna. They could literally cancel the rest of them. I could live with it, but if they cancel this one, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's got the best cast.
Not even close.
Vincent Del Toro as Kingpin. It's just...
And it has the best... Okay, we'll talk about this in our review of Daredevil. Just know that we liked it and we'll be pissed. Entertainment Weekly is giving us our first look at some of the things from Game of Thrones, the final season.
They just don't want you to forget because it's still 9 months away.
Because we're not getting it till April, May, or possibly even June. Whatever. I'm staying... I will watch the first trailer, but I'm staying away from everything because I don't need anything. I will be there when the first episode drops, and I will be there till the last episode is over. So, there you go. All right, and then lastly, what do we got for you guys? Taron Egerton has come out and said that he will not be returning as Eggsy in the Kingsman 3 movie that has been greenlit. That sucks. Now, I get it. A lot of people are saying why. And even one of our friends of the show pointed out that, well, that makes sense. The show is going to be set in the early 1900s. I still say bullshit. They could have cast Eggsy as Eggsy's great grandpa.
Yeah, just he happened to look like his grandpa.
He looks exactly like Taron Egerton. I just really like him a lot in the series, and he's come out and said that it doesn't mean he's done with Kingsman. If they do a Kingsman 4 or 5, he may return. He loves this franchise. It just doesn't make sense for him to be in this movie. But once again, I have pointed out that that's bullshit. He could easily be in this. Turn it into a legacy thing.
The second movie did get a little goofy.
Yeah,
but it's a goofy franchise.
Yeah, I like it. But whatever. I mean, I'll still watch it. It just sucks. I really like Taron Egerton. I think he's a good actor, and he's fun in these series. And then let's see. Lastly, what do we got here? We already talked about Super Mario Brothers. Ryan posted some shit about Swamp Thing being casted. No one cares.
Gee, thanks, Brian.
Swamp Thing has cast Power star Andy Bean as Alec Holliday.
No, it's fine.
And Friday the 13th star as Derek Myers as the monster. I believe Derek Myers played Jason, so
yes.
Seems like a good fit. And I have no idea who Alec Holland or Andy Bean is. Is Alec Holland the main star? Is he a bad guy? I'm not going to lie. I don't know shit about Swamp Thing. I mean, I know some stuff about Swamp Thing, but I didn't read the comics. Most of my knowledge of Swamp Thing comes from the movies, a few comic books, Justice League Dark stuff, and the original movie that came out like in the 80s. Yeah,
all of my Swamp Thing stuff is strictly on the movies. So
whatever. Cool, good news. Ryan, that was a great post.
It still looks good.
And finally, the Avengers. Marvel has released a countdown clock, Ryan, counting down to the launch of Avengers 4. You could even say, Ryan, that this could be the final countdown. Woohoo!
I finally got it out of my head when the show started. Final countdown. I need to go work out now.
You know what? I don't even think of that. I always think of that stupid commercial where they got the microwave counting down.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Anyway, apparently we have 176 days, 8 hours, 14 minutes, and 28 seconds till the next Avengers movie comes out. Fuck them. Not soon enough.
And spoiler alert, everyone's going to come back.
Yeah, well, considering they've already shot Black Panther 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Spider-Man 15, 19, and 20. You know. And they've already confirmed Bucky's coming back for TV shows.
Yeah, so spoiler,
no one from Guardians has been confirmed to come back alive.
Nobody's really dead.
And Chris Pratt has booked 17 movies for the next 5 years, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I can maybe see the Guardians, maybe. Like, they could just kind of edit that out because all the shit that happened with that.
Yeah,
But
Volume 3 will officially be canceled. All right, well, that is all the news we have for you guys today. Like we said, not really a lot of it, but, hey, whatever. We got to talk about something. We got to do this. We got to put filler shit on this show somehow.
yeah, I think it's still a good news segment at least.
All right. It was. Good job, Ryan. Ryan, where are we going next for our next part of the show?
Next, Brian, we're going to talk about TV, the television.
Ryan, we talked about this. The segment is called Round the Tube. So I have to say, where are we going, Ryan? And you're supposed to say, we're going to go round the tube, Brian.
Since we did not practice or speak about that.
3 times we practiced this. Last night we tried, but you were too busy stuffing your face with Cheetos or Doritos.
Cheez-Its. Get your shit right, Brian. Cheez-Its are the most superior of crackers.
You know what? There's a joke in it. I'm going to move on to the next one. So, hey, Ryan, where are we going?
Brian, we're going around the tube.
Yeah! What's that, you may ask? Well, it's our segment where we sit down, gather around the old turn knob, and get through the channels and let you guys know what we're watching, what we're excited about, kind of recap the new seasons of shows, and maybe throw out a few things some new shows that you maybe should watch, maybe a couple you shouldn't, and just in general, like I said, what we're looking forward to coming up in the next month or two, and what we're currently watching. So,
can I just say really quick that our kids are spoiled that they don't actually have to go up to the TV to turn the
knob. I look at my kid and I say, guess what?
I didn't have a knob, but we had you had to go up and you had to push up and down on the channels.
I'm going to say that I was telling my kids, hey, guess what a remote looked like when I was your age? And they say, what? I said, me. It was, hey, pow, go change the channel. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, all right. So let's start off with Christine, because she's our new best listener. David is going to have a conniption, but, whatever.
Yeah, it's all right.
He'll be fine. He'll live. He'll make it. Let's see here. Where's her post? I want to put it up here. She had some questions about The Walking Dead, so we're going to kick it off with what's been going on this season on The Walking Dead and some of the big Walking Dead news. So let's see here. What do we got?
So spoilers for in case anybody hasn't been keeping up on The Walking Dead, just in case we talk about something that you didn't know about, which for me is everything. Ooh, sorry.
Whatever. Yes. So The Walking Dead has aired the first 6 episodes. I have not been thrilled about this season so far. It's just a lot of world building. I mean, they spent 4 episodes trying to build a bridge and nobody getting along. I'm just like, this is
a literal bridge?
A literal bridge. It jumps. So, okay, like Ryan said, spoilers for everything.
Push over a big tree and everybody just
Carl dies. They defeated Negan. They took over the Saviors and they wouldn't give him guns. And now they've united Hilltop, the Savior Sanctuary, and God, what's their place? I don't remember what their place is.
What's the clan with all the girls?
Oh yeah, I don't remember their name either. But yes, they've united all of them. So the Garbage Patch Kids now live with them. Well, they all actually died. So the main Garbage Patch lady, she lives with them.
She was. Last I remember, she was putting a whole bunch of them into a giant chipper.
Yeah, Janus. Okay, so anyway, long story short, they've united everybody. Negan is a prisoner in I can't remember. What is their town called? Whatever.
The Foundry or the Foundry or something.
No, there's Hilltop, Sanctuary, the Garbage Patch people, whatever. Anyway, and then where Rick lives. So anyway, Rick made a cage for Negan. Alexandria, thank you. So Negan's been living in Alexandria. Maggie and all of them aren't very happy. And so anyway, they've been fighting, whatever. It's just been boring. Then Rick finally, it was his final episode, and it was a great episode. I was actually didn't think I'd give a shit. And by the end, I was kind of in tears. I was like, maybe it'll be better when Rick goes. And I'm like, no, don't let Rick go. And I know you haven't seen it, but, he sacrifices himself, killing an entire herd of zombies.
By himself?
Well, yeah, I mean, he falls down. He's trying to lure him away. His horse bucks him. He falls on this, like, metal rod. And the whole episode, he keeps passing out. And every time he passes out, they bring back somebody from his past. So there's a really cool scene with him and Shane in it. That was actually really
Shane
great.
Came back?
What?
Shane came back?
Yeah, they brought back Shane. They brought back Herschel. They brought back Sasha. But by far, the best scene was with Shane. And where Shane basically out loud confirms that Rick's daughter is Shane's, and they both know it. And it's actually a really cool scene seeing those two together, considering the last time we saw them together.
Shane like rubbed his head a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, dude, it was good. It was a really good scene, and not just that. I mean, the acting was superb. The writing was good. The episode moved at a very fast pace, which was nice. Very much unlike The Walking Dead, and and it culminated with Rick, trying to lure all these zombies over this bridge away from Hilltop and Alexandria and everywhere. And then he sees that he hopes the bridge will collapse and it'll take all these zombies into the river. But the bridge won't collapse. In the last second, he sees dynamite on the bridge. And so everybody shows up to try and save him. And before they can, he doesn't want them all to die. So he shoots the dynamite and just blows everything up, right? And these zombies, there's a really cool scene where the zombies are all on fire. And they're still walking off this blown up bridge into the river and being floated down the river. So it's really cool. It's heartbreaking. They're all crying. Daryl's crying. Everyone, Michonne's crying. Everybody's crying. And then you find out Rick's actually not dead, and that Jadis, the garbage pail lady, made some deal with this secret helicopter group that we know nothing about. And she saves Rick, who's dying on this bank of this river. And last thing you see with Rick is he is being flown off in this helicopter to God knows where. And that's the last you see of Rick, right? And then the show itself does a time jump, moves forward. We now see Judith, the baby, is now about 8 or 9, so they do about a 6 or 7 year jump.
Oh, geez.
And it looks badass. Like, Jesus is gone full ninja. Carol's got like long hair and she's got bows and archery skills. And yeah, it looks pretty.
Wait, so Jesus is like a ninja now? He just straight up just.
Oh, dude, yeah. They were showing a preview, and he had, like, 2 swords, and he's, like, doing all these flips and cutting. I was like... And the zombies are talking.
The zombies are talking?
I think it's the Whisperers, which is a group of people who pretend to be zombies, and they walk with the herds, because I don't think the zombies are talking. But it honestly looks interesting, finally.
Did Maggie have that baby?
Yeah, Maggie had the baby.
Okay.
I mean, she was never pregnant, but now she has a baby. So I'm actually really excited for what's going to happen now. I'm excited to see they really needed a time jump and a change of pace. I do love Rick, and it's going to be interesting to see in a world without Rick. But I think the show needed a shot in the arm. The ratings, we've talked about a lot on this show. The ratings have been tanking. They needed something different.
I mean, I tried to I watched it diligently for...
Well, what's really
7 seasons?
What's really cool about Judith too is, like I said, she's about 8 or 9. She has a mini katana blade, and she's got her dad's 45, and she's wearing the cowboy hat, and she's like a crack shot. And they're like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I'm Grimes, Judith Grimes," and she puts the cowboy hat on. So it really seems like what they've done is taken Carl from the comics and they've turned Judith into that character.
Because Carl's like badass.
Carl's a badass in the comic book, but obviously he's no longer in the show because he kind of aged out. And then he just decided to do other things. But I am actually, for the first time in a while, I'm excited about the future of the show. It looks like it's going to go to a good place. I don't care about world building anymore. The time jump was necessary. Yeah. Get me to a place where they're already doing something awesome, and then tell that story.
So, where the zombies... Because the zombies are, like, rotting and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're never going away.
So, if it's been 7 years, would a lot of the herd effectively be gone?
I don't know, Ryan. We're going to find out in the rest of the season. So, but the other big news is that they are now... So, a lot of people felt that AMC did a bait and switch because they said this is going to be Rick's last episode, making everybody think Rick was going to die. And then you think he's dead and he's still alive. But as soon as the episode was over, they announced, like, hey, listen, we figured out that we could not end Rick's story this way. And that while Andrew Lincoln was shooting the final episodes, he realized how much he was going to miss this, and he loved where the story was going, wanted to be part of it. So they decided they were going to make 3. He's going to star in a trilogy of AMC original movies. that are going to continue to tell the story of Rick Grimes.
Like Rick Grimes post helicopter.
Something also tells me this is going to be on the AMC's premier streaming app.
Everybody's got a streaming app now.
Yeah. Also, rumor is Maggie is going to get her own movie when she leaves the show. It sounds like what they want to do is do the series, but also continue to do movies. Walking Dead mini-movies.
Daryl.
Yep.
And Carol.
Well, Daryl's getting $100 million, so I'm guessing there's probably going to do a movie. I don't care. I'm excited for a new direct. You know what? I actually don't mind a mini movie because one of my biggest problems with Walking Dead is sometimes it's so slow and it just does not go anywhere for a long period of time. And I love a good character drama, but you also got to get there at some point, right?
Yeah.
And I think a movie, if you give us a 2-hour Walking Dead movie, you have to move at a much brisker pace to tell a movie story than you can for a TV show. So I actually think it might end up being a really good format for The Walking Dead and for Rick Grimes. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, if
you can cut off his hand.
If I watch this last episode, would it just be a good starting point?
I would say yes. I think you know everything you really need to know. I can fill you in on the basic details, which I pretty much already did. I would watch it, and I would definitely give it a shot going forward because they are finally changing things a lot. Okay. At least it looks that way, and just see what happens.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll watch these new episodes.
So yeah, and then just text me offline and we can go over all that stuff. Okay, so Christine, I don't think I ever asked her a question. She wanted to know our thoughts on the Rick Grimes series of films, arcs in the works. What do I think is going to happen? I think they're going to find a way to cut off his hand because it's a lot easier to green screen a hand missing in movies than it is for 16 episodes of a TV show. What do I think is going to happen? Honestly, I have no idea. I really don't know where they're going to go with this. I mean...
Yeah, I haven't been reading the comics up to where they are, but it's nice that they're going to just take it in a completely different direction.
Yeah, so. I mean, I'm not caught up on the comics at all, honestly. So I don't know if this helicopter is something from the comic books. I don't know what the whole is he an A or a B. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing they're going to expand a lot on that once we get to where he's going. But I'm sure it's going to be Rick thrown into a situation where he has to do what he does best, which is survive and lead and overcome a probably crazy villain who cuts off his hand.
Yeah, and then save his family.
I mean, I think they'll probably explore, him wanting to get back to his family. So I'm hopeful that they take this somewhere where he knows it's impossible. So we don't spend an entire movie of him like, I've got to figure a way to get back to Alexandria. Like, I hope he wakes up and he's in Australia or something. And he's like, I'm not getting there.
Taken to the land of no zombies.
And you know what? And maybe the overwhelming arc of this is that he's trying to find a way back to his his family, and maybe when they finally decide to end The Walking Dead, they have that reunion moment. I don't think that's Rick's story. I think everyone thinks Rick's dead. I think they're going to move on from Rick, and I think Rick will go out like a boss at the end of the 3rd episode. But I think you could have almost a Mad Max style too. You could have this like lone badass who has to help people.
Rick, it's going to be like Lost. Rick is in purgatory. He doesn't know he's in purgatory.
You bite your tongue. But that actually, you know what? I kind of would like to see that.
Screwing around, and then they find out he goes to hell.
What do you think about Rick Grimes becoming like a Mad Max, where he's just lost in the desert and he just goes around helping people?
Like Rick all by himself.
Yeah, like the lone.
I would watch that.
Like Kung Fu the Legend, he just roams the earth now, alone helping people.
And he just has like visions of his family, like
with one hand. Whack.
Carl's like, "Don't do it, Dad. That's not nice."
I think they should bring back Shane and have a buddy cop show. No, I'm just kidding. No. And then the other question she had was, she wants to know if since Rick is exiting the show via the helicopter to wherever with whomever, and since Jadis, the garbage pail lady, is going with him, does that mean she's also off the show? I would assume yes. I'm guessing she's going to be a character, probably at least in the first movie that Rick is in. So yeah, I'm guessing she's no longer going to be on the show.
Yeah, I think she died in the comic books, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing she'll probably die in the first movie. And it wouldn't be, honestly, maybe this is how they find a way to cross over Fear the Walking Dead. Maybe they could bring back, what's his name? With the bow staff.
Um, the guy that's on Fear the Walking Dead now.
I mean, there's a way that you could still bring other characters that we've already met or on other shows into this now with Rick, into the movies, but I get the feeling these are going to be Rick Grimes stories, so there you go. All right, thank you, Christine, for your questions. All right, so we spent most of our time apparently talking about The Walking Dead. So without going into too much detail, why don't we go around and talk about what we're watching? What do we think about some of these shows? Is there anything new that you've seen? Anything new recently that you've watched that you want to talk about?
Let's see, brand new shows.
How about Manifest? I know we talked about that for a minute.
What stuff?
Manifest.
Oh, Manifest.
The new NBC kind of, I don't know, show that's sci-fi-ish?
We watched the first, I think we were 3 episodes. Very interesting show. It's I don't know how to say it, but
if you're not familiar with Manifest, it's a show about a bunch of people who got on a plane, they took off, and when they landed, it was 5 years later.
Well, no, but they took off, and in the middle of the flight, they had a little bit of turbulence.
Yeah.
And then everything's fine. So for them, nothing.
Yeah, they were on an 8-hour flight from Jamaica. For the rest of the world, they've been gone for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Or for 5 years.
For 5 years.
And they also, now they've come back and they all kind of have weird powers.
Well, they hear stuff.
They hear stuff that tells them things.
At least from the episodes I've seen, they're they can hear stuff.
Well, and there's like a shadow murderer or something. It's got a lot of interesting stuff. I've only watched the first 3 episodes. I liked what I've seen so far. It definitely has a little bit of a Lost feel to it. I think that's what they're going for. But I think it's interesting. I do think the drama's fairly interesting of seeing how people would react to the fact that, you were gone for 5 years. And everybody, to you, you just saw your wife a few hours ago, but to her, you've been gone. So now you've come home and she's moved on, but you're still I married. What?
Yeah. Did you look at your wife at one point and you say,
"Oh yeah"?
So if I was gone for 5 years and I came back, what would you be doing?
No. I didn't even say that. I looked at her and I said, "I'm pretty great. Unless they find the body, I would expect you to believe that I'm coming home."
Because I would survive.
I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on surviving.
I told my wife that she's allowed to do whatever she needs to do. Because I'm a good person, Brian.
Well, I'm a terrible person. I'm a selfish person. Because in case I am ever abducted by weirdos in the sky and think that I've only been gone for 5 hours instead of 5 years, I want my wife to come home and be waiting for me.
And be ready.
Yeah, whatever. It is kind of interesting. I thought it was kind of crazy that they have the twins, and now one of the twins is 16.
The twins is 14.
Yeah, that would be, how strange would that be?
That was so weird. Because a twins connection is a crazy thing.
Sure, I guess. Don't tell that to the Lannisters.
Yeah. God. You just threw me off. But, yes, the twin thing was crazy. All the people that were married, happily married or unhappily married.
Yeah, I do feel here's my thing. So, I feel like this show is worth giving a watch to. I don't know how to unfold over an entire season, and to be honest, I'm kind of over network shows in general, but I did enjoy this one, and I'm going to give it at least a half a season to see if it really...
Yeah, we're trying to get through it. We haven't really been looking for it lately, but we'll see. We watched the first 3 episodes. I think we're just trying. It really has a Lost feel, a Lost slash. What was it? The 4400 or something like that.
Yeah, that show's getting rebooted. I never watched that one. Yeah, it's got a fun sci-fi Beneath the Dome. It's got a fun little sci-fi twist to it. I think we'll see how well it lasts throughout the season, but I thought it was pretty good for what I've seen so far. So maybe check out The Manifest. I think it's on NBC. What else am I watching? I don't think I've started anything new this year, but I've been watching. I've been catching up on Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow. I will say
I have not. This is the first time where I haven't watched any of them.
Flash.
I loved all the CW comic book shows, and this year
Flash, I will say, has been better than last year, but the villain is really corny, and I'm not really digging the villain this year. So we'll see if it gets better. Arrow has actually been. So when Arrow, they brought back Diaz as the villain, and I do not like him, but all this stuff with Arrow, with Oliver being in prison, has actually been really good, and I'm surprised he's still in prison. This isn't like a one episode, let's bring him loose. He's been in prison for a long time. I do think it's a little strange that last year Barry Allen was in prison for a whole bunch of episodes, and now we've got Oliver in prison.
Wait, so why did Arrow get thrown in prison?
Because as the Arrow, he murdered like 100 people. And he had to confess to he made a deal with the FBI so that all his accomplices would not get thrown in jail, only him. So, sure, whatever.
I guess that's what happened when you shoot people with arrows.
But I will say Arrow's been all right. It's been fun. I mean, it's not been as bad as it was season 4. I think it's better than last season. Now I will say this: Legends of Tomorrow has been goddamn amazing. That is my favorite comic book,
I heard
show
Constantine has been killing it.
It's not just Constantine. Like, the very first episode, the magical creature they had to hunt down was a unicorn who sprayed rainbow musk out of his horn that goobered you and sent you on an LSD trip so that while you couldn't watch, he could gore you and eat you to death. And eat your heart. He likes hearts.
Wait. That was an actual
That was an actual episode. Oh, and it took place in Woodstock. Dude, they have literally... One dude got his nipple... there's a guy on the show who got his nipple bitten off by the unicorn.
I remember... I think I saw someone said something like somebody was going to... Like, if they kick their dad in the nuts... Yeah,
so Constantine
they wouldn't be born.
Constantine hates his life, and he doesn't... he feels like all he does is bring pain and misery. So they're in London in 77. He finds his parents. So his dad's bending over, and he goes to kick his dad in the balls so that he will never be born. And then he, disappears and flies backwards. And then there's this whole, you can't kick her. They have a ball-kicking time loop explanation. Dude, the show has been... It has great characters, amazing representation, and it's just a shit ton of fun. They do not try and take the subject matter too seriously. I mean, there is serious stuff in it, but it's just it's a lot of fun. The second episode was they were in Salem witch trials, and you find out that the fairy godmother from Cinderella has attached herself to a girl, and they think she's a witch. I mean, it's pretty.
Wait, so they gone like mystical?
Yeah, so what happened is last year, when they saved everything, they ripped a hole. By releasing a demon, they released all these magical creatures into the universe, in the timeline.
Oh, okay.
So now what they have, instead of aberrations, they have magical beings fucking up different time periods, and so these guys have to go save them. So it's actually really genius how they've managed to bring in Constantine and the mystical stuff. And, Matt Ryan's great as John Constantine. I could watch him play John Constantine all day long, but... Honestly, of all the network shows, you put Titans aside. We've talked about Titans on this show. That's another great one that I love. But take Titans aside and Daredevil aside. Right now, this is my favorite. Legend of Tomorrow is the only one that I watch the night it airs, and I just laugh my ass off. It is so much fun.
I might have to try and give that one a shot. Nothing about the Flash or Supergirl or Arrow. It just makes me want to watch it.
They're not even doing the tie-in with Legends of Tomorrow this year. So I'm telling you, binge watch Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 on CW, because Season 2 got a lot of fun, and Season 3 is already even better than Season 1 and 2. Legend of Tomorrow is hilarious. I love it. It's so much fun. Let's see what else I've been watching. I'm gonna try and watch. I haven't watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch yet. I'm gonna try and get into that show. I've heard that's a pretty good show.
Yeah, we haven't started that. We've been watching. Oh, okay. Just making sure it wasn't my wife sending me a text message.
Shut up and go to bed.
The Good Place. Have you started watching?
Oh, is that the one
yet?
where people die, but like it's got Kristen?
Yeah.
Kristen. What the hell's her name?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell. Thank you. I kept trying to say Kristen Wiig, but I know it's not Kristen Wiig. Yeah, I heard that's a really good show. I heard it kind of takes a dark turn though.
So it's about these 4 people. They died. Mm-hmm. They think that they've been when you die, you either go to the good place or you go to the bad place, heaven or hell. Uh-huh. And so they think they're in the good place, but they're there by accident.
Oh, nice.
And then there's kind of, I don't want to give away too much because you haven't watched it, but then it just kind of unravels from there.
All right, so what channel is this on?
NBC or ABC? I can't remember what it
I'll
is.
check it. All right, so The Good Place. What else? I know Vikings is coming out soon. Is that this month or next month?
This month.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Vikings. That's gonna be amazing.
Shit.
You know what else just started up too? Mars. I don't know if you guys have watched. If you had a chance to watch Mars, the original show from Nat Geo, I think. It was the first season. What they did was they intercut real experts on how you could get to Mars with a fake story about the first people trying to colonize Mars, and it's actually really cool. They set up like a mockumentary, but it's really well done. Well, I didn't know there was going to be a season 2, and season 2 just started, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to start watching that.
That's on National Geographic?
I believe it's on National Geographic channel.
Okay.
Honestly, if you're not watching National Geographic, they have some good shows. I know I recommended it on this show I think last year. They did a show called Genius with Albert Einstein, where it basically was a 10-part episode, or I think it was 8 or 10 episodes that told the story of Albert Einstein. Really well done. They just did one for Pablo Picasso. Really good. Antonio Banderas playing Picasso as the older Picasso. And then they usually have a younger version and an older version. And then as the show goes on, it kind of merge and meet in the middle and tell the rest of the story. But I just finished that one. So National Geographic, man, they got some really good shows on there. Genius and Mars. I recommend both of them.
Yeah. My wife and I like to watch Outlander on Stars. That one just came back. So,
that's cool.
If you like to watch, it's a book series that's very for the older woman.
Nice.
Is a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I want to check it out, but I heard there's a brutal man-on-man raping scene in a prison.
It's not brutal. I mean, it's kind of like heart-wrenching because you're like, with the situation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I might check it out. I've heard it's a good show. Titans, we've recommended Titans, DC Universe. Great show.
Titans.
I need to get caught up. I didn't have a chance to watch. I was so busy last week and I haven't watched the last episode, but that's a really good one.
Robin, it just straight up
badass. Don't mess with Robin.
Let's
see.
It's pretty sweet too.
What else we got coming out? What else am I watching? I am watching Lethal Weapon. The last few episodes. It's not nearly as good without Riggs, so I don't know, whatever. As far as I know, I think Damon Wayans is quitting the show anyway, so I don't think there'll be very many more episodes left. Lucifer is currently filming, so hopefully that'll drop. The new season of Lucifer will drop on Netflix soon.
My wife and I watch all the big sitcom stuff, like Modern Family. We watch This Is Us.
Oh, okay. I don't watch that. Because I like good shows.
It's good. I don't like to cry. I cry every time I watch it.
Real life is sad enough. I don't need to cry. How about Man in the High Castle? I need to watch season 3. I haven't watched that yet. Such a good show.
I have Castlevania.
Yes, Castlevania
2 is next up on my list.
That is definitely next up on my list. Hey, real quick, back to Man in the High Castle. Anybody who wants to know how fascism could rise and overtake things, watch Man in the High Castle. It is a scary representation of if you do not, keep your eye on things. It's amazing how fast you can lose everything. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Castlevania season 2.
I'm caught up on South Park.
Oh God, this season of South Park has been crushing it.
It's because they went back to old South Park.
Yeah, I mean, the
They
fact
they're
that they
not
like
trying
have
to do
kids.
like the big huge story of
Well, it's just
oh, we got to
it's
make it,
well, and
it's
it's
like
such smart writing too. Like the whole idea of like kids, people are getting shot every day in their schools, and nobody even notices anymore that like bullets are flying over their heads.
yeah, they just don't care. And Butters walking through the hallway with the AR-15.
Yeah, I mean, dude, their social commentary, as always, is spot on. I think my favorite episode so far was the vaping episode,
Yeah.
where
When
Randy starts selling weed. Little
they
integrity.
bring back Mr. Tally.
Oh, how about the Christmas
Like,
poo
oh,
when he?
I'm gonna just give this one a try.
How about Mr. Tally? Or not Mr. Tally, Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, got ran out of town for saying racist things on Ambien.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
South
you
Park
don't go on
has been on
Twitter.
point.
That's why you don't Twitter when you've been taking Ambien, Brian.
That's why I don't tweet when you've been taking Ambien.
I just love Christmas.
What else? God,
The
I feel
PC
like
babies.
Which one?
The PC babies on South
Oh
Park.
my God, the PC, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, anyway, South Park has been great.
Yes.
I feel like there's something else I'm missing, but whatever. I feel like we've talked enough shows. Anything else? Is there anything else you're excited about?
I made my list and I haven't really been watching a lot of stuff. I mean,
Stranger Things, we gotta wait for season 3.
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah,
I started watching. Netflix has the 80s and the 90s,
oh, nice.
like the documentary thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, those are cool. I watched a
Yeah,
lot of the 90s one. I really like that. Oh, I'm getting caught up on the 100 on Netflix. They have all the seasons of the 100 on Netflix. So if you want a good show to binge watch the 100. It is really good. I mean, it's kind of corny at times.
Is that the one where they're like orbiting in space?
Yeah, and then they send 100 to Earth. That show is so
Sent out
far
all the
beyond
kids
that
or
now.
something?
There's like 5 seasons, and it's really good.
Man, they sent like all the trash kids or something down to the planet.
Well, no, it's if you committed a crime, every crime was punishable by death, and so they didn't want to kill all these kids. If you're under a certain age, they don't kill you; they send you to Earth instead. So,
Oh.
so anyway, all right. Well, I think we've rambled about television shows we've been watching. Is there anything else you want to say before we get to our 50?
Not that I can think of. I feel like there's something scratching at the back of my head.
Yeah, there always is. There's always some. Well, there's so much good content now. Those are just a few of the things I've been watching, and
It's hard.
yeah, it's hard to catch up with
Keep
everything.
on top of everything. It's like I said, I gave up on all my CW comic book shows just so I could just try and.
Well, I mean, to be honest, why? I mean, I don't even like CW has a deal with Netflix. As soon as the season's over, they air the entire thing on Netflix. Like I need to watch Black Lightning. I've heard that's a fun show. So I don't know. We'll get to it, but I would like you guys to let us know what you're watching. If there's something we should be watching that we're missing out on, let us know. We definitely would.
We'll definitely give it a shot. I mean, my wife and I we're always looking for something new to try out.
Yeah,
so.
and if you check out one of the shows that we recommended, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
We go to the Faithful 50.
Yes. What do we got? We had a couple.
We had a couple questions. Thank everybody for responding. The first one we have from David, and he wants to know, would more people vote if there was a tax break for voting?
Yes.
Yeah, if you get money to vote, which is technically against the law in itself, but yes.
Yeah. Here's my thing about voting. It's a shame that, we can only ever get 40, 50% turnout to any election. I mean,
40, 50? We're like lucky
30,
to get
30% turnout to our elections. Yes, we have terrible election turnouts. I don't know what it is. I know some of it is some states make it really hard to vote. I mean, I know states like Washington usually have a higher participation because they've made it easier to vote. If I were president, first thing I would do is declare voting a national holiday. That if you go vote, you can have the day off, right? So there's your incentive. Show that you went to the voting booth, and we'll give you a paid day off, right? I mean,
move it to a Saturday.
I like I said, mail-in ballots. I think us Americans, I mean, we get everything easily, and we're not used to having to work for anything. So I feel like the easier you make voting, the more people actually do it. I know some people say, well, you should have to work hard, and it should be a privilege. Well, I don't disagree that it should be a privilege, but in this day and age, nothing is hard. We could literally vote from our phone. The government can make a secure app that you could sign in with your information. I have a phone that can see my face, can scan my face. I could probably pre-scan my face and register onto the registered voter registration. They could scan my face, should know it's me, and I could vote. So,
yeah.
I mean, we need to make voting easier. Yes, giving somebody a tax break, but honestly, the easiest way to do it would to be make it easy, really easy to vote.
Yeah, or just, stop putting only one voting booth in a county with no power cords.
Yeah.
And not giving the voting...
Especially putting it in a county that's predominantly black and then saying you're not trying to suppress black votes.
Oh, sorry.
So weird.
Oh, hey, I won by 1,000 votes. Good for me.
Fucking voter fraud nonsense. These voter suppressions. Fuck voter suppression. All these sons of bitches. I hope they go to jail. How is the guy in charge of voting booths and voting tallies the same guy who's running for governor? I mean, how's that even legal?
We're going down the slippery slope.
The short answer: make voting easier and make people feel like their vote matters.
Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do.
All right, there you go.
And David also wants. He says, "Des to the Saints."
Yes.
And he says, how well or how poorly does it go for him? Pretend you care, even if you don't.
I think he is like a B-level player. I think it's telling that we're 10 weeks in and nobody signed him. So I think he'll help the Saints, but I don't think he's going to put them over the top.
He might make a good number 3, number 4 wide receiver.
He's a big receiver that can't separate anymore. And he's got pretty decent hands.
Yeah. He's probably just going to do a lot of like slant routes, and
he can beat single coverage, and he'll probably be good in the red zone.
Yeah, he'd be good for if you need, try and do the guy, put him over the middle so he can just, try and just take a hit.
Des Bryant's number 1 receiving days are I think well behind him. I think he's got some talent left, and I think he could be I think he can help the Saints, and Drew Brees is a really good quarterback. So whatever.
Yeah.
I think he'll help him win. I don't think he's gonna this is a guaranteed Super Bowl team. I mean, they might have already been a Super Bowl team, but
it's not going to be like his comeback or anything like that.
I don't expect him to put up 1,000 yards receiving over the last 6 games of the season, but I mean, who knows? What do I know? I'm only beating Ryan in all of our picks every week, so whatever.
Yeah. So thank you, David.
Thank you, Dave.
Boring Chris wants to know if you had to direct a movie.
This is from Boring Chris?
Yeah, this is from Boring. It's a very boring question.
Okay.
If you had to direct a movie about Waldo from the Where's Waldo books, who would you cast as Waldo, and where would the movie take place?
I would cast Dwight from The Office.
That's a good choice. Where would it take place?
It would take place in France.
Yes. Just the whole country?
Yeah, Paris. Because I feel like that outfit is something you'd see someone in Paris wear.
Yeah.
So he would blend in much easier, I believe, in a place like Paris than, say, like in Sydney, Australia. So I think I'm going to go with a dark comedy. And there's been a series of mimes murdered who all wear costumes who look like Waldo. And so the police think it's Waldo actually murdering people, but it's not, and he's gonna have to solve the murder mystery of who's killing the Waldo lookalike mimes.
You did the extra work by making a whole plot. I'm just gonna say Jim Carrey in Disneyland, and it's a weird Waldo adventure.
I want to go a dark psychological thriller where Waldo is lost himself in his mind, and so he spends the whole time asking himself,
so like
where is Waldo?
Waldo is he's trying to find himself.
Or Waldo has multiple personalities, and Waldo, the main Waldo, is a murderer, and so they're trying to find the murderer. So they're like, "Where's Waldo, the murderer?"
So
I like my dark comedy idea better. I'm sticking with that one.
So yeah, you're kind of going to the split you know.
Yeah, I was grabbing too many things. I feel like my dark comedy Waldo murder mystery is much more of an original movie.
I'm gonna go with Where's Waldo, and he's trying to find himself, and it's just him sitting in a room talking about all the places he's been.
I want to see a movie where Waldo and Drax are in a movie and they're both trying to find each other because Drax is so incredibly still that he's become naked to the invisible eye.
And then he blows his brains out at the end.
Wow, your movie sounds terrible, Ryan. Yeah. All right. Thank you, boring Chris. I don't personally think that was a boring question. Ryan's a dick.
Yeah. Jeff, this is a question.
Ooh, is that my BFF, Jeff?
This is just Jeff.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's a Superman question. That's how I know. It's my BFF, Jeff.
He said Superman movie is getting re-released in the theaters later this month for its 40th anniversary. Mm-hmm. He's never seen it on the big screen, so he's definitely going to go. So what are some movies that we would love to see on the big screen that you haven't?
Oh, man. I'd like to see Jaws on the big screen.
Yeah. I want to see Terminator 2.
That was the first rated R movie I ever saw in the theaters, Ryan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A little bit older than
that. You're just a hair older than me. So but I never got to go to movies as a kid. I always had to wait until they came out on VHS.
I was super poor and had a shitty life, so the only thing that gave me hope was going escapism in the movies for 2 hours. So I went a lot.
So you would I'm gonna go see that Disney movie, and then just go sneak in to
I would say, no. I mean, we used to do the whole thing with the Movieplex where your parents dropped you off, you pay for one movie, and then you just sneak into a bunch of other movies.
I've seen you up at 5.
Yeah, I've seen a ton of movies in theaters. Some of the older ones. I would love to have seen Alien, the first one, Alien 2 in the theater. Also, Predator. I feel like that's a movie that you're like, oh, what's this movie about? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, it's aliens, and people getting their faces blown off.
Yeah, I would definitely want to see Aliens and Predators, Terminator 2.
I would say the original first 2 Star Wars movies, but I got to watch those when they re-released them in the theaters, so...
Yeah, I watched all the re-releases when those ones came out.
Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, because I'd like to have been seen in the theater when Spock died. I'd been like, oh my god!
I would have liked to see First Contact in the theater. I think that's probably one of my most favorite Star Wars movies.
You never watched? I watched First Contact in the theater. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I like that one.
So, I mean, obviously, Superman 1 and 2 would be great to see in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
All those movies that were epic.
Man can fly.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I went to the movies a ton. I still love going to the movies. So I've seen a lot of... Very rarely do I miss a really good movie in theaters. Honestly, the first couple Harry Potters. I did not watch... The first Harry Potter movie I saw in the theaters was Harry Potter 7, Part 2.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, I thought Harry Potter was for kids, so I didn't watch it for a long time. I watched my first Harry Potter movie when it was... They had already released the first 4 on video when I finally watched them, and then I binge watched them. And then it was still kind of I couldn't get my wife into it yet, so it was nerdy to go by myself to go see it, so I just waited till I'm video and I watched them.
And your kids were too little.
My kids weren't even born.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to... I always forget the
Harry Potter's been out for a while, man. The last movie was a while ago.
It's been out for so long.
But, so yeah, I mean, I kind of regret now in hindsight. I would have loved to see all the Harry Potter movies in theaters. They were really good, but...
I wanted to see E.T. in theaters, but I didn't get to go see that one.
Yeah, I don't think... that's probably... I don't think I saw E.T. There was a time we were living in Montana where there's no movie theaters, so I didn't see E.T. I wish I could have seen Top Gun in theaters. E.T.
I got to see Jurassic Park in theaters, and that was freaking awesome.
Amazing.
The one scene...
I got to watch Willow in theaters.
The Velociraptor, they're going up into the air...
in the kitchen?
In the kitchen, and the Velociraptor jumps up and snap. That was I jumped up in my seat.
Dude, I got to see that in theaters. I saw Independence Day in the theaters. I saw Willow in the theaters.
Independence Day in the theaters. Willow. Yeah, I would want to see Willow.
You don't know what you don't that soundtrack on Willow, that's part of the reason why I love that movie so much. Watching that movie in a theater is a different experience. It is great. I kind of wish I would have seen Howard the Duck in theaters.
God, that was such a terrible movie.
I don't know. What else? I'm sure there's a few other movies in there, but yeah, there you go. We could probably do this for an hour. So great question, Jeff.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for reminding me that my parents never took us out the movie.
Also, thank you for always being my best friend and no longer being friends with Ryan. It makes me...
Whatever.
Anytime I steal one of Ryan's friends, it makes me feel better about myself.
Whatever.
And Ryan feels worse about himself, which is like a win for me.
Great. I'm glad that goes for you. And that's it from the Faithful 50.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who submitted a question. Obviously, if you're not familiar with the show, Ryan will post a question usually a Thursday. This time it was a Wednesday, asking us for questions. And it's your opportunity to ask us literally anything. It doesn't have to be nerd related. We will answer it, like David proved with his political question.
Yeah.
All right.
They're all good questions.
All right. So, hey, before we get out of here real quick, we always like to throw out a little recommendation for the week. And since, I don't even know. I didn't ask you if you had do you have a recommendation?
My wife and I just started watching Homecoming on Amazon Prime with the Julia Roberts.
That would have been a perfect thing to mention in our Around the Tube segment, Ryan.
We literally just started watching it tonight on the first episode.
Is that any good? I know it's the same guy who does Mr. Robot, which is coming back for its final season soon. It's
very interesting, but I wanted to watch like at least 2 or 3 more episodes before I can actually give an opinion on it. But we just started watching it tonight, so...
But you're going to recommend it? You don't want to give an opinion, but you're going to recommend it? All right, whatever.
Don't be a dick, Brian.
Ryan, it's what I do. All right.
It is what you do.
Well, since we're going to be gone for a couple weeks, I thought it'd be fun. I don't want to be that asshole who starts talking about Christmas way too early. But there's no time like now to start thinking about great Christmas decorations. And I have...
No Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
Let me finish.
That is how it works, Brian.
Let me finish. I'm not talking about like stupid stars and dumb angels on trees and shit. I'm talking about nerd stuff. And if you don't... the reason why I say get them now is because I feel like these are going to get sold out real quick and you're not going to be able to find them. So I'm mentioning it now. Now, if your wife is awesome like my wife, she would have already bought you the Death Star tree topper from Hallmark for your birthday. So I already have that ready, and I'm going to unveil that on a later episode. But I found these little bad boys. I may have been a little drunk on Amazon, drunk with power, and I went a little hog wild. So I'm going to show you guys what I got. Funko. Funko has always done special ones. I think last year I showed you guys my my Christmas Vacation Funko Pops with Eddie and Clark. But,
yes.
So they've always done ones like this. You can get Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Like Buddy Elf. He's got his maple syrup here. It's a pretty cool one, right? That's a good one. Classics they've just released this year, which, by the way, they're already going for double what I paid for them on Amazon. I got The Grinch and Max.
Oh, nice.
Look at those. And anybody who knows Funko Pops, now I will be taking these out of the box for Christmas. So I'm not like using them as collector items. But if you're not familiar with Funkos, they're pretty nice. Little bobbleheads here. They got a lot of cool little, they're fun. But like I said, for Christmas decorations, these are way better than them dumb little nativity scenes. Look at that. What's better than Jesus in a manger? Or an elf on a shelf? A Grinch and a Max.
God, I hate the elf on the shelf.
All right, now we're starting to get to the good stuff. That was just the warm up. Now we get to the real. Oh yeah, look at that bad boy.
Stuff there.
Christmas Groot.
Ooh, Christmas Groot.
Yeah, they even have. They have a Christmas Hulk. I didn't see that one. I might have to go back to Amazon. But anyway,
it's Hulk.
Can you see that? All right. Should I pull it out of the box?
Yeah.
Now you can see it. Okay. There you go. There's that one. Okay, and then here we go. Now we're getting into the Star Wars time. Look at that. Chewbacca wrapped in Christmas lights.
That's funny.
Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
Christmas Yoda. Santa Yoda.
If you wear a Yoda hat or a Christmas hat, nice.
Yeah, if you find that dude coming down your chimney, you're probably going to shoot him with a 12 gauge. I'm not going to lie. But, there's that one. And then for the grand, look at these two bad boys right here.
Darth Vader, Christmas Vader.
No.
R2D2, and that's awesome.
It is an R2D2 that has antlers. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that.
Sweet.
There you go. See that? Well, that's what it looks like. Here you go. Look on the back of the box. See?
Ah.
And then you got C-3PO that's dressed as Santa Claus. So apparently there's a Hulk and a Vader that I might have to add to my collection, but you can get those right now on Amazon, and you will be the envy of everybody who comes over to your house.
Definitely all you nerd friends.
Yeah, and I got those for the low price of, I'm not going to talk about how much I spent on those, but you should definitely do it. Be like me.
It's always worth it.
Buy Amazon things while you're binge drinking.
Yeah. Supreme Overlord.
It never ends badly. Anyway, all right. Well, I think unless Ryan's got something else, I think that's the show.
I think that is the end of the show.
All right, everybody. Like we said, we'll see you guys for a couple weeks, so have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll try and have a couple fun little things. We'll still do our NFL show, and we'll try and put a couple little side shows out between now and our next main episode. But this will be the last Geek Dad Report until after Thanksgiving, so, you know.
Oh, you'll see Brian and I with like extra fat on our chins because we ate so much turkey and gravy.
My personality devours calories like a kid on candy on Halloween.
Your personality just works as a metabolism.
It does. It's like a second metabolism for me. Well, before we get out of here, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us while we're gone?
Of course, you guys can find us on Geek Dad Report on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. And you can find Brian at BrianWest53 on Twitter, and I'm Big Bruiser. We're also on podhell.com, and you can find our good friends, the Utah Outcast, on there as well. And we are on iTunes at the Geek Dad Report, so please just like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and invite 5 of your friends.
5.
Just show them this, just tell them about the show. And steal their phone and subscribe for them.
Yes.
Because they won't do it on their own.
Mm-hmm. Or fake an injury and then steal their phone and subscribe. They'll never know. It'll be fine. But you should do all those things like Ryan said. And honestly, best advice we can give you guys is stay awesome, everybody.
And stay nerdy.
Eat lots of pie.